to actually be fairly close affairs. I mean, BDS came out 3 times in those events during the fall, but it all went to Game 5 pretty much, with one exception in early on where it went to Game 3. So Dignitas plays pretty well against BDS, but at the same time, it is a new roster, so throw it all up in the air right now. You got to see what happens.
And probably the most difficult thing for everybody in the tournament is that if BDS get one more series win, it's best of 7s. The rest of the time that you would have to play them. And yeah, that's going to be quite the fun task for whoever gets given that one. That is both upper bracket and lower bracket if they can pick up the win. But here we are, game number 1. And this is, I think, a more chance to gain. Oh my goodness, Monkey Moon actually managed to read Jorius. He's going to be followed from Extra. Now shot from Mark. Not really any zest on that shot. I feel like there's more to gain here than there is to lose for Dignitas. This is the benchmark that is being set. I'm going to see how far they can jump to it.
Yeah, definitely more to gain, but that's easy to do when you're the team that has been up and down. It's always more to lose when you're at the top, so consistency like BDS, but so far, pretty even in terms of the distribution about who's being successful here early on in Game 1. This is really just BDS kind of seeing what they can throw at the wall and if anything sticks here, and so far, Dignitas handling it pretty well.
One thing we want to see from Dignitas is how they're going to get out of these sort of positions, because they will be here quite often. Double commit, and it has managed to work. A bit of chaos. Able to do well, and they have transitioned out their own side of the field. Extra wiping out the incoming rotating player. Violent Panda is red from the way he wanted to play it. Gonna have to try and make sure he gets his car behind the ball in future. He's trying to force out the 50-50 challenge. She's gonna start to move on in. Monkey Moon won't have Mark available. Extra tried to go looking for apparently Jack. You are right, Achieves. This is a tentative affair to start us off, but this isn't anything new for BDS. And Dignitas will be quite happy with the position they're in. They might be more happy if they could turn this one in. Jorius goes off the backboard, nobody else around, and that should be BDS's chance to escape.
Yep, you're absolutely right. That means Monkey Moon trying to fake out apparently Jack, but this is really where BDS and Dignitas are actually both pretty strong with their transition game. You can see whenever Dignitas gets that nice long clear, they do tend to catch BDS in a position where they have to play that ball over their head and make sure they get the proper read, as Jorius makes a bad approach off the wall, but still able to recover and make a solid clear.
Anyone that's seen Jorius play once will know that a bad approach means nothing to him. It's always recoverable. Be his mentality. 2 minutes left to play here, and that is a bad touch from Violent Panda. Might catch his team out. Apparently Jack already on the goal line. Biggest test of his career in this one. Marked by 8. Will not have Extra be available to follow up. He was already on low boost, but he's sticking around. Very difficult when you're playing against BDS to really figure out where they're at boost-wise, because they're just always so aggressive. They play like they've got 30 more boosts than they usually do. Marked by 8, over to Extra in the midfield. Is it finally the first goal? Monkey Moon wants to take his shot off the backboard, and it will finally be turned in. BDS have got 1-0.
You could tell there was going to be something there when Marked by 8 gets that hard pass into the middle of space. Thankfully, he was able to recover and make that second effort as that ball got smashed off the bar. And unfortunately, Dignitas finally just can't get all the way to a ball. They've been playing well throughout Game 1 here on defense, but the problem is yes, whenever they do get that long clear, they force BDS to, react to it and have to make a decent play on defense. But the problem is they're not finding them consistently. And BDS is really just kind of camped out at the midfield line for a majority of this game.
Yeah, I think this can be described as a fine performance so far for Dignitas, but has only resulted in 1 shot, and I don't know about you, Achieves, I don't remember it.
Nope.
So, goes to show how threatening that one was. Jorius into the midfield. This will be a lot more threatening, though. Monkey Moon can do nothing about it. It's an old-school Dignitas move to make it 1 each.
You'll remember this shot. Jorius straight to his right. Violent Panda off the bar, off a defender, and tucked into that top left-hand corner. Beautiful pass and shoot. Dignitas get it right back. And now you see what happens for the remaining minute 10 seconds.
I'll tell you what, I'll definitely remember that one. And I'm sure BDS will as well. They'll know that they've got to get somebody over to read those plays in the future. I think that's got to be a welcome sight as well to both Jorius and Violent Panda, is that they went for those infield passing plays so often during the last split, and they were instantly shut down. It must be so nice just to have one that wasn't challenged for a change, and they could put a goal in from it. As now they're starting to get a little bit more territory in this game as well. A bit long. Apparently Jack is going to leave it for Itachi. I mean, extra. Itachi will be on later on. Oh, there's another demo as well. So Joris is now caught into action. Double demo. He'll be by himself, but only momentarily. I see Monkey Moon trying to set himself up, but that is fantastic play from Joris.
Very valuable to be able to buy that time, but now you're starting to see BDS get shoved onto their back foot here for the final 10 seconds or so, and got to make sure you don't crack.
And everybody's seen BDS showing a lot more demos towards the end of this game. Jorius over to apparently Jack, the new team. Almost coming together to try and take away game one. I'm still gonna have one more shot at this. Drops over. Jorius wants to get the second. Can't quite do so. Apparently Jack now in. They'll be challenged as Mark by it fakes out for the first time. Still hasn't touched the floor. No follow-up from Dignitas. We're gonna go to overtime.
I think Violent Panda started creeping a little bit too far forward there. Could have had a chance at it, but decided just let it go. Let's kick off again. And Dignitas, you know, that 50-50 looking pretty good. A lot of shots here for BDS, but only one in the net. Here's a chance for two. Extra delivers, and that's game one in 12 seconds of OT.
Well, everyone around the world was thinking for a second, oh, hey, there's maybe a chance. BDS will not have any of it. What a play to take game one.
Boom.
And a quick reminder that they don't need constant pressure to get these opportunities. They can make them out of anywhere.
That was quite something. It's not often you just see that many touches in a row and then just gets absolutely boomered into the top right-hand corner. I mean, you don't even think that one's coming.
I think what's terrifying,
to be honest,
is that there was no adjustment to where the players were going to go. That was caught on the way in every single time. There was no stop. Okay, I've got to play it over to you. I've got to use a bunch of boosts to regain momentum. It was just, I'm moving. I'll get it over to you. You get it back to me whilst I'm still moving, and we'll create the play from there. Absolutely terrifying from BDS.
Jeez. You don't even know what to do with that one, to be honest. If you're watching that from defense, you're like, where's it going next? And then it's like, oh, it's too far away. Okay, good game.
You bow your head a little bit and you say, yeah, that's just how it is, isn't it? Good to know that this is the level we have now got to, as apparently Jack and Dignitas going into game number two. A lot to be excited about for Dignitas in game one. But what will scare everybody who has watched BDS in the first place is that game one is usually their weakest.
You know, I actually like, apparently, Jack trying to take that on an air dribble there. I think that might be able to help Dignitas break out of their own half a little bit more here in game two, because those long clears in game one, while they were sometimes effective, they did tend to spend a significant part of game one on defense. So those air dribbles will at least force possession and a potential challenge that they can come up with here in game two. Doors open, a bump, and Jorius will get him on the board first.
Wow, well, those air dribbles doing something here. It's a slight misplay, actually, from apparently Jack that completely caught them out. The bump was the main thing in that play. And the question becomes, Achieves, is that now they've seen a little bit more of an attempt at these air dribble plays, when do BDS start pre-jumping? Because we know they love a pre-jump.
When they absolutely have to. I think they'll be more than content to try and win the challenge game at first, but if they're not coming up with it, then they'll get more aggressive.
Monkey Moon moves on in, realizes he doesn't have to go for the pass, instead straight to net. These demos coming out massive here in game two.
Yeah, it's the demo combined with the miss from Jorius there. Just allows Monkey Moon to turn back around on that ball instead of having to retreat back to his own half. And because he got that demo, that means that it's on that last man to figure out where that shot's going, but he was just too far away.
So, one each. Still very encouraging if you're a Dignitas fan. Violent Panda gets it underneath extra. Markway has to use a lot of boost to try and keep that one out of the danger zone. Now drops over. Jorius one more time. Shut down by Monkey Moon. Pass over. Go straight back to Panda. Well read by Monkey Moon. Knew exactly where that one was going, and now he can start to break away. Marked by 8. Moving on in. Takes the shot, and Violent Panda easily gathers. Monkey Moon going to have to set himself up properly for this one. Still plenty of boost. Extra might try and give it back to him. Instead, far side. Always going to be a very difficult play to try and pull off. This has suddenly opened up a lot more. We saw in the last game that there's a lot of pressure coming out from BDS, but not a lot of it was really all that threatening. This game opening up for both teams.
Some awkward clears being
forced
on Dignitas here as Jorius kicks it off the bar, but I think BDS might have to give a little ground here, but that doesn't stop him from just going for the bumps in the net.
And will happily try and outpace you until there is nobody left on the defensive line. Panda ends up missing it. A couple of whiffs have cost Dignitas in this game. A phenomenal recovery from Jorius, only as far as marked by 8. BDS settling back down to the way they were in game 1. Lots of pressure. They're not trying to rush it. Stealing boost, maybe see if they can swipe away at one of the defenders. It's a very controlled pace here from both teams. They're not taking risks that they don't need to. Infield pass, well read again by Monkey Moon. Those passes are not working right now for Dignitas. Shot from Monkey Moon just off target.
Violent Panda and Dignitas in general were very close to being caught out of position there. Jory is just trying to buy time as Violent Panda uncontested up the side.
And it's a 100 boost grab as well for Dignitas. So if they can try and keep a hold of it, might be quite happy. Apparently Jack took it away from Violent Panda. Didn't trust the Monkey Moon challenge. And Dignitas, you know, we've seen bright spots from them, but it's Pashy on occasion, and it is going to get them caught. Marked by 8 gets his first.
That's just fascinating. I mean, it takes one miscommunication there of, you know, you call that you're going to go for the ball too late, or it just doesn't register in your teammate's head for just a split second, and you end up double committing, pulling someone out of position, and then you have to make this awkward second attempt at it up against the wall. And Dignitas kind of just beat themselves right there.
A minute and a half, though, to try and turn this one back round. Dignitas haven't had many offensive opportunities, but they've managed to create quite quality ones when they have. Jorius ends up colliding into apparently Jack, who has been in the middle of a lot of double commits, a lot of miscommunication, some his fault, some not. But just still showing that there will be growing room for this team, as Mark by 8 now already up. He wants someone to come and challenge him. He will dare them. Jorius happy to take on the challenge. And now a miss from Monkey Moon gives Jorius this opportunity. He's going to hunt down for extra, and he will nail him.
Continuing with those air dribbles, Dignitas able to get up there. That time it's a miss from BDS, and Extra knows he's in trouble. And we've seen that play more than a couple times since we saw a bunch of it in the 1v1 arena. They turn it into a nice equalizer for Dignitas.
Once again, Dignitas making the most of their chances. Can they now use this to put themselves on the board and tie this series up 1 each? Hand already on. There was a bump on one player in the corner, but now Mark by 8 can turn around. Apparently Jack wants to try and stave off as many of these as he possibly can, but it's still going to go to Mark by 8. Good clear from Jorius, who has been a standout performer in this game. 2 goals to his name, a hat trick would certainly be on the cards. Maybe a hat trick that can take this game for them. Another clear. Jorius almost gets hit out of midair. Extra wanted it, and he's still going around looking for more demos. BDS at least comfortable enough in their rotation right now. They're not rushing players back to defense.
Apparently Jack by himself here.
Well, he's always got the crossbar. Dignitas have been very friendly with the crossbar in this game. They've used it for defensive plays. They're going to use it on that double tap. Are we going to overtime number 2? Apparently Jack off the backboard. Monkey Moon, he will just guide it on its way down. We have got ourselves our second overtime.
And I think this is a really important game for Dignitas to win, because right now, the only reason they're in this overtime is because they had that one miscommunication on their own half that led to a goal. We should have already been up here, and apparently Jack chance to put it away right at Monkey Moon and cleared away.
Again, looking at Jorius. Hope that we have some sort of magic, especially on these transition plays. Apparently Jack again takes it to the air, wants a second challenge, couldn't quite set himself up for it. And now here's Extra off the backboard. Great challenge again from Jorius. Realize he just has to make some sort of contact. And he doesn't get outpaced. Apparently Jack again, he's so close to these plays. Just can't quite find that second touch. It could have been an awkward bounce there. Instead, Monkey Moon will recover, doesn't get his challenge, and both teams coming so close to starting to set up what they want to go for. Just the execution a little bit off as Jorius almost finds himself a hat trick.
Oh, but you love the pressure here from Dignitas in this overtime. That one is just able to get poked through the oncoming attacker. And Dignitas going to have to relinquish a little bit of control. Apparently, Jack caught too far forward. Violent Panda going to bail him out. And Dignitas get away with one.
Now it's going to be over the top. No more boost remaining. And no more teammates available for Dignitas to try and score off that play. Minute and a half of overtime now, been and gone. Pass over to Panda to win game 2. Crossbar has betrayed them. And it is going to continue onwards.
You know, it pays to know the crossbar, but you got to remember, there's 2 of them, and one of them doesn't like you.
Back and forth we go here. Marked by 8, just taking his time. Our midfield challenge game has been much better here from Dignitas. They're not getting stuck in the right side of the field, but that's a miss that might cost them. Straight over to Monkey Moon. Hasn't really got a passing option. Instead wants to find the double commit. He did half get it. Jorius backs down. He'll still have a little bit of boost to his name. Boom and clear into the midfield. Monkey Moon. He's got anyone on that far side. Extra wanted to be that player. Couldn't quite do so. Violent Panda gets a good challenge. It's now going to be a race that Jorius will win. Goes to the ceiling. Extra just waiting for it. Hasn't been the cleanest overtime we've seen. That might be what Dignitas needs as Monkey Moon tried for the pre-flip shot. Couldn't quite find it.
And Dignitas, like you said so many times, are incredibly close to just putting together this beautiful attack on net. But right there, that entire chance just ruined by the demolition. There's a bump on the net. No. Monkey Moon is completely uncontested with an open goal.
I have a bad feeling about this. I have a bad feeling. Oh, it's the worst feeling.
No. Why?
Well, 2-0. Objectively, 2-0. And subjectively, it's a Chiefs.
But why do you rotate through the middle of the box there instead of going to the goal line? I think that was Violent Panda, wasn't it?
I gotta see it again. Because I only saw it from apparently Jack's POV, and apparently Jack's POV was bull cam. So it's like facing up. I saw Violent Panda coming in, but I feel like I saw a bit of blue there as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing this here. All eyes basically.
We're gonna go through the highlight package, and it's just like I want to know what.
This is a good goal. All right, let's have a look. Because we didn't catch all of this. Okay,
what is that?
Mark Bay gets a bit, but definitely didn't make it look any better. Here we
Mark
go.
Bay gets the bump, sure, but I'm still trying to figure out why Violent Panda's there. He drove out of the corner into that. And
Look, Mark Bay did him a favor, okay?
He really did.
They've stopped doing favors.
Oh,
Extra.
No.
I've already got the lead, and this might be the BDS that we have always seen. Those first 2 games can be close. This third game, it has a tendency of getting out of hand, and this first goal doesn't help for confidence.
It's not often you get a perfect kickoff like that either. I mean, Extra, all he did was flip to the right, and that ball just pinged right off his car and went just around that follow-up player from Dignitas, and you rarely get a kickoff that's that easy to score in 3v3.
Monkey Moon trying to just see if they can continue on the momentum they've got. Dignitas are going to keep in this. They have to just try and re-establish where they are in the series because they've looked fine. Can't let that previous mistake get to them. Definitely cannot afford a second goal to go in just yet. And holds the midfield. I do think we need to pull attention as well that's not the first time we have seen that achieved. There has been a lot of rotations where someone's coming back and they're cutting straight through the path of someone that's coming in.
On Dignitas' side, yeah, that's happened more than once, for sure. And it's caused havoc at a couple instances. I mean, that double commit where they, that's the only reason they were even in that overtime in that last game, right?
I don't know. I feel like I only remember that goal now. Everything else is a blur.
Yeah, it's just the scrum in the middle and then the balls on the net.
Marked by 8, flip reset. Jorius has seen that one before. I feel like every individual play Jorius has seen before. Not going to be able to catch him out all too easily. Violent Panda looks to try and set himself up. Might caught marked by 8, but there's the pre-jump. And he's more than happy just to take that away from you. How demotivating is that going to be to see someone who has already predicted where you're going to shoot 3 seconds before you do it?
Yeah, it's quite amazing that Mark by 8 even knew a shot was coming. That's a great pass up to Monkey Moon from Extra and a completely open net here because they just lost the ball, and apparently Jack and Violent Panda both caught too far forward, and all he had to do was make sure not to hit it off the bar.
That is worst case scenario now hit for Dignitas. They've got to go and send everything at BDS. No more mistakes allowed. Jorius won't be able to get too much more on that play. Ran out of boost. Monkey Moon just going to take his time.
Wow.
Dignitas. Yeah, this is... I'll be very curious to hear what the desk will make of this performance because it feels very much like a mixed bag. I like what I've seen, and it feels like the mistakes we have seen have been fixable.
Yeah.
But right now they got to focus on this game and maybe, you know, close it out a bit stronger.
Yeah. It's just, you know, if you're a Dignitas fan, this is one where you feel like, okay, 2-0 is fair, but it's also completely preventable, right? And if you're BDS, I mean, you've done everything you really needed to. I mean, you've put together some great passes.
No one was here to test BDS.
Yeah, it's like BDS really just jumped on the mistakes, and that's why they won this one. Granted, there's been a couple of phenomenal goals, to be sure, but a lot of them is just, hang on, how did we even end up in this position? and they just are ready for it.
The pass over to Mark by 8. Can't quite recover for this one. He will still try. But no chances just yet for Dignitas to try and get them to at least half the lead BDS have set up. Maybe something here available to them. Violent Panda drops it down. Apparently Jack was coming on in. That's the constant reading of the passing plays as Monkey Moon almost misread that bounce. Back into midfield again. Nobody around. BDS. Difficult to break down in defense. There's a lot of lauding of how good they are in offense, but just make stuff like that look so easy. They were on a lot of pressure and no issue.
And I think the thing that makes BDS so good in terms of their defensive capability is how well they know to support each other. As even Mark by 8, he could tell. He was the third man in the rotation there. He knows that Extra's in a real bad spot, so he jumps before he even knows Extra's got the ball. And Mark by 8 isn't thinking, I need to beat Extra the ball. He's thinking, I need to be where Extra isn't going to be. And so Mark by 8 gets that save because he understands if that gets through Extra, it's going to be there. And that's why BDS is so good defensively.
It's just insane chemistry that these lads have got. Monkey Moon darting around Violent Panda. Triple commit, but BDS going over just fine. 30 seconds here. If Dignitas are going to make a comeback, they've got to score pretty soon. Violent Panda looking to try and set that play up. Here comes apparently Jack. 50 boost, going to pop the ball into the air. And Extra outpaces both of them. An opportunity to try and put this up by 3. Crosses straight across the face of goal. Apparently Jack jumps, he hopes, but he watches the ball go sailing past into the net.
And so that means it is going to be a 4th win for BDS over Dignitas, this time in sweep fashion. And what a way to start it off. But Dignitas, you got to give them credit, to be fair. They did make BDS work. Granted, they gave away a couple of opportunities, but Dignitas did make BDS sweat more than once. And this is, I think, overall a good sign for Dignitas, because, you know, when they make that big roster swap and we're sitting here...
That's nice of him.
That is nice of him to give it to Extra. But when you're watching Dignitas and you're thinking, man, what are we going to get with this new roster swap? Because they've just been incredibly hit or miss more often than not miss with their old roster. And they come out here and they go up against BDS. Sure, they get swept, but the way they got here was also a joy to watch. So you're curious to see how Dignitas bounces back in their lower bracket run now.
Yeah, that'll be the real test for them. This was us getting a chance to just stack them up against the biggest dog in the yard. And guess what? BDS are still just as terrifying to play against as ever. They move on to Championship Sunday. Best of 7s now. They've got to be, I want to just say this aloud here, Achieves. Team BDS now must be beating 2 best-of-7s to be eliminated from this tournament.
How hard could it be? It's just 8 games.
It's simple.
fine.
Yeah. Just enjoy that, whoever. I wonder if it's going to be one team that is maybe capable of doing that, or if we're going to be spreading out those sort of responsibilities. But for BDS, they'll be more than happy with their results today. Coming up after the break, we are going to have to be going over to Des to hear all of their reactions from this matchup, as well as getting to Oxygen Esports against Team Queso.